Pseudonym doesn't have a live split timer. Interesting. Alright. Well, I guess we'll just be using Sean's timer to keep track of time. Anyways, welcome to Triple Bingo. If you are unaware of how this works, the runners have to get 3 lines. These can be diagonals, vertical lines, or horizontal lines. And the goal is to, well, complete 3 lines. Wow, it's almost like the name is in the... It's almost like the explanation is in the name of what this is. Anyway, so what the runners are doing right now is they are checking the board to see what goals are on the board. Are they snow seaside locked? Snow seaside being the furthest the runners would have to go in order to complete Triple Bingo. The first thing that I see on this card that immediately catches my eye is the 100 moons total. That goal is usually a little risky. Not necessarily because it's bad, but because you're collecting a lot of moons. You only need 75 to leave Metro Kingdom normally. So, unless if you have moons that are routed in, it's a little bit much sometimes. Oh, apparently this is a special match because this is to determine a 3-way tie. Oh, okay. If Pseudonym wins, they have a 3-way tie. Now, I believe the way they're handling ties in this tournament is they're using the fastest time, like, from the board completion. I don't know if I agree with that for Bingo particularly, because, board completion, time-wise, can vary with what board you have. Some boards are infinitely faster than others. So, I don't know. I feel like just duking it out again would make more sense, but I understand why you wouldn't do that, because having to schedule a 4th match might be too much for some people. We'll try to host a tiebreaker race if the schedule allows it. Thank you so much, Neo. Because I could potentially be in a tiebreaker scenario, too, if my race with King doesn't go well. Anyways, completely off topic, 100 moons total is on this board. I'm not a huge fan of this goal, but it looks like that it could potentially work out, because you got 8 moons in Seaside, 12 moons Cascade. I see 6 ground pound moons in Seaside. That's a goal that could potentially work with your 8 moons in Seaside. However, 6 ground pound moons is a little bit much, because you're going all over the kingdom for those ground pound moons. So, unless if there's, like, regionals to route in with that, that could potentially not be a wise goal to go for. Anyways, I am completely sidetracked. Let's see. Snow Seaside locked. I don't think the runners are Snow Seaside locked. I see 3 Seaside goals, and that's it. So that means the runners do have a chance to early finish here. And that could potentially be good. Pseudonym accidentally marking off a square, probably just thinking about what's going on with the board. It happens. The runners do have a little star icon that they can use to mark their route alone without anyone else seeing it, so it's very useful to use that tool. If you don't. Anyways. So the runners are not Snow Seaside locked, from what I see. I do see 30 Moon Sand, though, so that could potentially be something that you want to avoid. In fact, row 4 in general isn't really looking like a row that I would do. 30 Moon Sand plus 20 Wooded. While 20 Wooded isn't that much, you also have to pair it with 50 Wooded, and there isn't really total regional synergy on this board. Oh, there is. There's 150 total, so I guess that could potentially be worth it, but I don't feel like that's that great. So there is potential regional synergy on this board, at the very least, with your all regional coins in 2 kingdoms, and the 50 regionals in Wooded. BLTR. BLTR actually is pretty good. I will agree with that. 16 moons lost isn't too much extra. 12 moons Cascade, again, not that much extra. These are small kingdoms, so the runners will have plenty of groundwork to just blitz a ton of moons in very quick time if they know what they're doing. 5 stickers is going to require several shop visits, but we also have purchase 5 moons on here, which might complement incredibly well if they decide to go for that. But that does lock them into going for Seaside, so we might not see that, since the runners can potentially early finish here. Yeah, it looks like there's actually potentially a lost finish if you do C1, row 4, and BLTR. I'm trying to see if there's any other lost finishes on here. I don't see any other lost finishes because all the other squares are either blocked by the 100 Moons or the Seaside goals. So with that in mind, that route actually doesn't look terrible. There isn't really much work with the regionals, unfortunately. Getting all regional coins in 2 kingdoms could potentially pose a problem, but you are getting a lot of moons in both Cascade and Lost, so these 2 kingdoms could potentially work out for your all regional coins in 2 kingdoms. So, with this in mind, I could actually see this route being pretty good. 5 treasure chests, not a problem whatsoever. At all. Yes, row 1 is Metro. That's why I didn't mention row 1 in the route. I said C1, as in column 1, row 4, as in, well, row 4, and BLTR as in the bottom left, top right. So, we'll see if the runners do decide to go for an early finish. If they don't, I'm trying to see if there's a Seaside route that potentially rivals this, like a Seaside or a Metro route that rivals this. I could potentially see, I could actually potentially see, row 1, BLTR, and C3 potentially being worthwhile. 6 moons from sub-areas and sand forces you to go into all the sub-areas that don't require peace, and that pretty much means that they're doing, well, all sub-areas that don't require peace. So that works out, because there is a Music Note moon in the Jaxi Ruins sub-area. So they could potentially, you know, use that with the 6 moons from Music Notes. The runners actually do get pretty close to 100 moons with that total. So they could potentially work in, I don't know, maybe like C5. C5's not strenuous whatsoever. I'm trying to see if they can like work in a route with 100 moons total. Maybe add in the purchase 5 moons, that way they aren't visiting the shop just for stickers. But at the end of the day, I don't really think the Seaside route is honestly that worth it. That lost finish is pretty good. BLTR row 2 C2 in your opinion? C2 goes to Seaside. Keep that in mind. The 6 ground pound moons. So we are seeing both of our runners just massively collecting Cascade moons, either because they already know that this is going to be in their route, or because they see 12 moons Cascade and see it as an opportunity to build their route upon this goal. I sometimes do that with boards, where I just take the Cascade goals and just build it, and just build my route upon what I can do in Cascade. And it's actually not a bad plan, sometimes. Sometimes it is a bad plan, because it can get you Snow Seaside locked if you're not careful. So, with this in mind, yeah, Pseudonym's just collecting regionals like a madman, so we're definitely seeing all regional coins in 2 kingdoms from him. And it's very nice that he's pairing it with the purple coins here. Very good. Anyways, Pseudonym is just making his way through the sub-area. There are 4 regionals at the top of the sub-area, but he does need 12 moons and Cascades, so again, this is very valid. This very much works out. He's skipping the secret moon. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with that decision, to be honest. I guess because he's doing the sub-area completely normal without the shortcut, I guess I could see why he wants to do that. Huh. Interesting decision. They're actually both in the sub-area, so I think they're both going for that all regional coins in 2 kingdoms, which means they might be going for the same route, that lost finish that I pointed out before. Pseudonym actually leaving with less than 12 moons. It could be he's plotting a revisit with the purchase 5 moons goal in the sticker. That's interesting. So, that is an option, but again, I really do feel like this lost finish is worth going for. Ooh, Sean taking a nasty death in the 8-bit Chasm Lift sub area. Chasm. I feel like that's a tomato-tomato situation. Honestly. So, yeah, I guess... Did Sean at least get the purples before he died? I think he did. I think I know exactly how he died. He got, like, a valley dive when he was trying to go towards the other moon. Luckily, he doesn't actually need that moon, so it's not that costly of a death. It obviously sucks that he's a moon short now from what he was initially planning, more than likely, but at least it wasn't, like, a catastrophic death. Like, at least he didn't need that sub-area. That could have been way worse. Metro versus Lost TDH. Again, I mean, there might be a Metro finish on here that could be worthwhile, but I feel like if you're early finishing, you're going to Lost. Like, that Lost finish just works too well, in my opinion. I guess you could avoid the 30 moon sand. No, you can't. Wait, maybe you can. No, you can't. You can't really avoid the 30 moon sand. That would be the only way I would potentially consider ending in Metro instead of Lost if you could avoid the 30 moon sand, because 30 moon sand can be quick, but it's also a huge time commitment, and spending a lot of time in sand can do one of two things. You either know exactly that this is a goal that you're doing, and even though you're spending a lot of time in it, it's definitely worthwhile, or you're just getting a lot of moons for no reason. But in this case, it still works towards that 100 moons total, so if either runner decides to work that into their route, we could potentially see a Metro finish with 100 moons total. I do see World Peace Wooded in that column, though. And while World Peace Wooded is one of the faster Peace Kingdoms, it could be, it could be worth it. I'm not entirely sure. They do have to get 4 checkpoints, which I believe does require needing to beat Speedrun, because there are only 3 active checkpoints if you don't beat Speedrun. See, I'm trying to think about that. There's the one down below by Pipeway, there's the Flower Road, and then there's the one by, the arena. So yeah, 3. So they would have to beat Speedrun in order to activate those 4 checkpoints. So we definitely could see World Peace Wooded being worthwhile here. Because that means they don't have to worry about getting optional checkpoints at all, since there's literally 4 checkpoints built into going to World Peace Wooded. Like, you literally get 3 just by climbing the path. And then your 4th one can be Flower Road. 6 music notes is Snow/Seaside, but keep in mind, if you do go to Snow with this goal, you will have to do Bound Bowl. You will have to do Bound Bowl, because that music note is locked behind Peace. Now, if there were multi-moons on this board, I don't know, maybe that could be the play. I highly doubt. Like, that's usually never the play. Usually if you're doing Bound Bowl, it means that you messed up. Alright, we're seeing a clock minute from Sean. Ill. Light menu. I don't approve of that. My eyes hurt just looking at that. But that's okay. Yeah, Pseudonym's just kind of doing, I think he's just doing any percent. No, he's not doing any percent. He has way more than 4 moons. I guess he's ratting for a 30. We could see a 30. They could both be going for 30, to be honest. We haven't really seen enough to justify what route they're going for. We could definitely see a 30 from both players. Yep, BLTR row 4 in column 1 is the only, like, viable early finish that I can really see here. Because I would say maybe finishing in Metro could be worthwhile, but you can't really skip the 30 moon sand, which would be the only reason to do row 1 over row 4. But unfortunately, there really isn't a way to skip it, so I just bite the bullet and just finish in loss. For how long has Neo suffered? Just, you know, just a few thousand hours. I didn't even know Dark Venue was implemented. Neo, no! Please tell me you're gonna switch that immediately. I just... The only, like, social media or menu that I actually prefer light menu on is Twitter. Light menu Twitter doesn't bother me, like, at all, but every single other light menu just... Oh, it's so bad. Nah, he doesn't care. Fair enough. It's a pretty minute thing. And, like, if you've gone this long using light mode, it's obvious that your eyes have adjusted to it. You say that, but you're sure your eyes have started to bleed at one point. Oh no. Oh no. So yeah, both runners are just collecting moons. There's not really too much to say here. We can definitely confirm that Pseudonym is definitely going for 30. Oh, he's herding sheep. Is that a goal? It is a goal. Oh yeah, of course it's a goal. It was in the route that I proposed. I'm dumb. Hopefully you heard sheep better than I did. Dude, I'm still so upset about that. Like, I don't even know how that happened. He just didn't go into the arena. The sheep was just like, nah, I'm just gonna chill on the edge. And then I ground pounded thinking all the sheep were in, and then they just left. It was so sad. I had to warp away to refresh the sheep. Not one of my prouder moments. I'm just gonna say that right now. Anyways. Pseudonym. Herding sheep. Way better than I ever could. I apparently need to practice that moon because I botched it so hard. I'm getting sidetracked. They're just collecting moons. There's not a lot to talk about here, to be honest. Actually, Pseudonym going for an inverted pyramid clip. Let's see how he does. Ooh. I'm kind of curious why he's deciding to do this for 30 moon sand. I would honestly only interact with the pyramid for a 32 moon route. There's definitely 30 moons for sure without the pyramid. Like, that are easy enough to do. Sean marking off the Ice Cave treasure. He is in here, so that makes perfect sense. It's collecting regionals. I guess it could be for the sticker, but, like, literally there's 10 super quick regionals in town already. So there's really no reason to collect literally any other regional if you're just going for the stickers. And I doubt he's going for total regional goals. I doubt he's going for that 150 total. And, you know, if he is, that's cool. He might. No, you're thinking of Lockout. So there is another game mode in Bingo called Lockout, which means that only one person can occupy the square, and whoever marks it first obviously gets that square. And whoever has the most squares by the time the board is locked out, that person, well, wins, because they have more squares. Yeah, Lockout's interesting. But Triple Bingo seems to be the favorite format for Bingo in Mario Odyssey. So, oh, maybe we'll eventually have a Lockout tournament. That'd be kind of fun. I don't think Lockout works well with normal, though. I feel like Lockout really only works well with the short format of this game's Bingo. Because, like, the kingdom progression that you do in normal is a little bit more extreme than the one in short. The one in short only goes to Laker Wooded. So you can play a lot of mind games with, like, backtracking the cap and stuff. Neo Eyes. Well, there was a Lockout tournament hosted by Erroraiser. Cool guy, by the way. Follow him if you don't. But yeah, Erroraiser hosted a Lockout tournament for Short Bingo, and it was really fun. I honestly had a really good time in that tournament. Pseudonym is fighting Harriet. I guess he doesn't quite know where to get 30 moons, so he's like, I'll just fight Harriet. And it's not the worst plan. I can barely see what he's doing, obviously, because the quality's a little eh. But we can still technically see what he's doing, so it's fine. Neo's very happy about Pseudonym fighting Harriet. As he should be. Sean also herding sheep. Yep. Again, this makes perfect sense. It's a goal. it works into the 30 Moon Sand. Pseudonym still hasn't gotten around to Ice Cave Treasure, so I wonder what this means in terms of how he's planning to route this. Has he gotten, like, Flowing Sands and Sphinx yet? I guess he could do it after Sphinx. Yeah, 30 Moon Sand plus Ice Cave plus Sphinx. Plus Sheep. Not Sphinx. Plus Sheep. Yeah, overall, I'd say that's pretty valid, because, again, like, it's pretty fast, honestly. Well, the moons in general aren't fast, but, like, just the fact that, you can build in these moons into your 30 moon total. They aren't fast on their own, but just the fact that they synergize with the 30 moons total makes them pretty worth. I'm surprised Pseudonym hasn't opted to grab the story moon. Like, if he's struggling this much to find moons in sand, you would think maybe grabbing the story moon would be on his bucket list. Especially since he wouldn't even have to, like, view the cutscene at that point. We are actually seeing a little bit of advanced world peace movement here. Luring the bullet bills to get some moons relatively quickly. Ooh, not quite being able to break the cage with that first bullet. So he is going to have to play this a little bit slower, unfortunately. I know exactly what he was trying to do. Assuming he hasn't gotten Flowing Sands yet, he was going to take that second bullet and go all the way to Flowing Sands with it. Yup. That's exactly what we were going to see. And then he was probably going to get Sphinx, and then he was going to go to Ice Cave. And then finish an Ice Cave. Wait, that's not right. He's still short moons. I have no idea what his plan was then. Maybe he didn't have a plan, and he's just trying to collect the moons that he knows are relatively quick with Harriet because he fought Harriet. Sean might actually also be fighting Harriet. He only has 21 moons, and, well, you need 30. So, we could potentially see Harriet from Sean as well. Again, Harriet not the worst decision, but I feel like with 30... it's not really worthwhile, because there are definitely 30 moons that you can get relatively quickly without Harriet. And the main thing with Harriet is, even though Harriet isn't slow on her own, just the fact that you need to watch that cutscene after you beat her, it's, like, a little over a minute, and just a lot of time loss. Very unnecessary time loss. So, it's going to be interesting to see which of these runners ends up exiting sand first. Because they're both just kind of vibing, collecting moons that they think are quick. I don't think either of them actually planned a 30-moon sand route here. That can be a little bit complicated to do, of course. Anyways, Pseudonym marking off the Ice Cave treasure. He needs 3 more moons, and Sean needs 7 more moons, but he's almost done with Harriet, so that'll put him at 26. Let's see. What other moons does Pseudonym not get? Well, I guess he hasn't been to the Oasis yet. Huh. Opting not even to buy Jaxi for a 30-moon sand route. I don't know if I agree with that decision. I almost always buy Jaxi in sand, just because Jaxi's a fast boy. Like, if you can't comprehend how you're going to route sand, just purchase Jaxi, because even if you make mistakes while routing sand, at least you know that you have your fast boy to hold back on. I don't know why, but I like watching long ASS sands. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on SpeedGaming. Probably not, since the F word isn't allowed. Anyways, what's going on here? Pseudonym just dumping his moons. He is leaving sand before Sean, who still needs 4 more, I believe? 4 more moons in sand. Assuming Sean hasn't collected any of the town moons, he should be able to get 4 moons relatively easily, and he won't be that far behind Pseudonym. He's grabbing 15 regionals, and I'm not sure why, because the sticker only costs 10. I don't know, maybe he is going for full regionals, in which case, I really hope he's not going to Seaside with 30 moon sand. That would be a bit of a yikes, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Pseudonym actually making his way back to Cascade. I know exactly why. He wants that sticker. He wants that purchase. Well, actually, no. He probably doesn't want the purchase. Well, maybe he does. Maybe he wants the purchase just because it's a fast moon, but I don't think he's actually purchasing moons for his route. At least I hope not. This might reveal that both of the runners are going to Seaside, in which case we have a very, very interesting race, because they just spent all this time in sand, and they might still be going to Seaside. Alright, we'll know very soon if they're going to Snow or Seaside. Well, they're definitely going to Seaside. There's no reason to go to Snow on this board. Jeopardy music playing. Oh god, dude, the moment of truth. I really hope these runners didn't decide that Seaside was the go-to. Because, I mean... Pseudonym collected 12 roots. Okay. Well, I mean... Was there a faster moon he could have went for? Maybe the Shining Rock was faster than the menu, but he still had to purchase the sticker. He was right next to the shop. I don't know. I just really hope this isn't a sign that Pseudonym's going for row 3. Because that could make things dicey if one of them is going for Lost Finish and the other isn't. That would basically confirm who wins right here and right now. Okay. Well, Sean's marking off 5 treasure chests incredibly early, might I add. Keep in mind, there's a chest in Lake and Wooded that are relatively quick. So, the fact that he's just getting this out of the way, I mean, I guess that makes sense, but at the same time, I feel like routing in other chests into your route might have been a little better. It's not the worst plan, because it did allow him to get his 30 noon sand still, so at least he has that. And the chests are completely out of the way, so he doesn't even have to think about chests anymore. And there isn't really a reason to go to Deep Woods on this board, so with that in mind, that might... Oh, that could have been a good decision. Hard to say. We'll have to see. Pseudonym collecting Lake Regionals, so it does look like we are seeing all regional coins in 2 Kingdoms from Pseudonym. I guess the reason why he didn't decide to do this with Lost is maybe he's not comfortable with APC Lost. Totally understandable. APC Lost, while it's one of the faster kingdoms to do all purple coins in, it's also one of the most dangerous. You really need to know what you're doing, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're in for a world of hurt, because you're going to be in a world of pain. Because you're probably going to be dying a lot. You might miss a set of purple coins, and then you're going to be really upset. So, it's definitely probably the latter, that Pseudonym just might not be quite confident with doing that, might not be that confident with doing the, APC loss. I completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, he might also not be comfortable with doing Lake Clip. You could get a reasonable amount of the purple coins quickly with Lake Clip. To be fair, I apparently suck at Lake Clip too. I completely botched it in my race today, but that's beside the point. Yeah, Pseudonym definitely going for APC Lake. This pretty much confirms it. There's no reason that he would be in this sub-area otherwise. I mean, there is a chest in here, so I guess he's routing that in. So, yeah. I still don't know if runners are going for the early finish route. I really hope they are, considering they did the 30 in sand. I really hope they are. I mean, Lake Clip is pretty tricky, so I totally understand why they wouldn't be comfortable doing Lake Clip. And we're not seeing a Lake Clip from Sean either, but that's probably because he already knows that he has 5 chests, and he doesn't need to worry about it anymore. So, there's really no reason to Lake Clip if you already have the 5 chest moons. And considering we saw Sean grab all regionals in Cascade, he's probably opting to do APC Lost over APC Lake. Which, again, I believe would be the smarter decision here. But, again, Pseudonym just might not be that confident in APC Lost. So he's playing what he knows. Which is never a bad thing in Bingo. Anyways, Sean is grabbing the crate. Huh. I mean, I guess kind of fast, man. Huh. I guess he does need to go into the plaza, so I guess that's a reasonable moon to do. But I would have probably done the any percent moons, and then secret room, and then shop, probably. Alright, so yeah, both of the runners are just in Lake. Pseudonym's collecting his regionals. It'll be interesting to see how this affects the race, assuming they're both going for the early finish. Because at this point, it is assumed that we do have a race of the same route. And that's the interesting thing about Bingo. Even though the runners might be doing the same route, it still varies in the way they decide to complete the route. So, with that in mind, we'll probably still see very radical decisions from both of the runners in terms of the choices they make, even though they are probably doing the same lines. Alright, so Sean is leaving Lake. Again, he'll have to do APC Lost later, assuming he is going for the early finish. I'm pretty sure I saw Sean buy a sticker. I hope he did. I'm pretty sure he bought a sticker. Anyways. I mean, considering he went to the Crate Moon and then dropped down to the plaza, I'm gonna assume he did buy his sticker. Alright, so with that in mind, I guess they're both going to Wooded. Because Pseudonym already did his revisit that he needed to. Sean not doing a revisit, but it isn't necessary because he only needs 5. He doesn't need... Oh, wait. No, he does need a revisit. If he's ending in Lost, he will need to revisit one kingdom. Yeah, if Sean is planning to end in Lost, he needs to revisit a kingdom. Now, there's actually 2 ways that he can go about this. He could end in Lost, or he could go to Night Metro and buy the sticker there. But I have one reason why that probably isn't the play. You need 10, not 5. And if you don't know Night Metro, most of the regionals in Night Metro congregate around City Hall. So he would need to do a considerable amount of movement to make his way over to the regionals in Night Metro in order to make that work. So, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. He's grabbing the regionals after getting that. Okay. Alright. I am very interested in the way Sean is routing these regionals. What the heck? I've never seen Wooded regional routing done like this. It's like he's taking the beginner any percent route and routing regionals into it. I guess that's a good idea. I don't know. I never really thought to do it like this. Huh. Alright. Sean revisited Cascade to get the sticker? Okay, cool. I must have missed that. Because he had 12 moons before, so I wasn't sure if he routed in a revisit or not. So, thank you, chat, for verifying that Sean did revisit a kingdom for a sticker. Very much appreciated. So, yeah, both of the runners have to do the exact same things in Wooded, but they're going about it in radically different ways. So, again, this would just be another example of how, even though both runners have the same lines, that they're treating it so differently that it's basically two different runs going on. Well, obviously it's two different runs, but, like, they aren't, like, copying each other in the way they're going about it, because they're routing this incredibly different. Again, Pseudonym already having his APC in Two Kingdoms done already. Yeah, he just popped in and out. Alright. Yeah, then that's understandable why I missed that, then. I guess in a way that's still okay, because he only needed the sticker, and he already had the regionals there. And he didn't have to watch a Moondumb cutscene like Pseudonym. So, I don't know. The thing is, there were already fast moons there already, so it's like, I don't know if I can justify the revisit just for the sticker. I think the way Pseudonym did it was a little better. In fact, I would have grabbed even less moons than Pseudonym at the start. I would have grabbed only like 3 or 4, and then left the other 4 for the revisit, because, not sure if you guys noticed, but there's like 5 really fast moons at the start of Cascade. You got the Mound, you got the Purchase, you got the Timer, you got the Chess, and you got the Rock. Yeah. Pseudonym doing Fire Cave. That's a really interesting moon choice to do here. I know he needs 20, but I almost never seem to do this moon. It's almost like a backup plan when I do Fire Cave. It's like, it's okay, I guess. Again, he only needs 4 extra moons, and the runners do need to beat Spirit to activate 4 checkpoints. I hope they realize this. I really hope Pseudonym or Sean are not routing their Wooded in the sense where they aren't beating Spirit, because that would be incredibly scary, because there are only 3 checkpoints active before facing Spirit. I really hope they aren't going to Seaside. All signs say that they're still finishing in Lost, but if they're going to Seaside, if one of them goes to Seaside, that basically confirms the other one the winner. If they both go to Seaside, we still have a very interesting race to watch. I really hope they're doing VLTR, guys. I really hope they're doing VLTR. I pray that they are doing VLTR. Like, I literally can't emphasize this enough, dude. So, it looks like Sean generally knows that there are not 4 checkpoints active without Spirit, so he should be okay. As for Pseudonym, he hasn't quite shown that he knows this yet, which could potentially be scary. I really hope he knows that he can't activate 4 checkpoints without Spirit, because this could really cause problems for Pseudonym. Yes, I discussed this earlier. If they were going to Seaside, I would have done something like Row 1, D3, and VLTR. Because the 6 moons in Sub-Area Sand synergizes well with the music notes. 12 moons in Cascade, not that much. 20 moons in Wooded, again, not that much. Total regionals, really easy with APC, plus 50 more. Oh, not to mention the 50 regionals in Wooded, so that's actually just built in, which is really nice. The 5 stickers you wouldn't have to revisit whatsoever. Again, collecting extra moons in Cascade, Wooded, and Lost. Kind of a yikes, but, again... Whoa. Wait, what just happened on the layout? Guys, I'm confused. What's happening? Why did the layout change? I can't see the card anymore. What the heck? What just happened? The good news is we know what card they were doing, and, hopefully this doesn't mess them up. I mean, I doubt this affects them. They're looking at the card already. Anyways, I don't know why Bingo Sync or Speed Gaming has been having this issue today, but apparently it happened during my race with Oro as well, where they just weren't showing the right card throughout a portion of the race. That's really annoying, but we already know what the card looked like, so we can generally base what we know about the card that we've been looking at for the past 40 minutes and just assess from there. I remember what most of the goals were, so I don't think it'll be that big of an issue. Sucks for people that are just viewing, but luckily it happened way later in the race, so it shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, Sean making his way up to Summit Path, very wise choice. You can get some really, really fast checkpoints here, working in Summit Path and just working your way around the top of the kingdom. The top of Wooded has very easy, accessible checkpoints. So, with this in mind, we're definitely going to see Sean and Pseudonym. Okay, Pseudonym is fighting Spirit. He does know. Thank goodness. I was so worried. It's such a small thing. Like, checkpoints in Wooded, you're like, oh, that's not hard at all. And then you realize that, well, there's only 3 active before Spirit. I guess I have to fight it. Oh, man. But, yeah, generally Spirit's fast for 20. I was a little worried that they weren't doing it, but thankfully they are. Sean actually doing the story? Can't say I agree with this decision. Story Moon generally isn't fast. There is a checkpoint locked behind there, but again, he only needs 4. And there's a checkpoint, by the, oh god, how do you describe that area? Where the rocket is. That's how I'm describing that area, guys. It's where the rocket is. Oh god, help. There is another race at 3, but I'm assuming they're using multiple rooms for this. I would hope they're using multiple rooms for this. Yeah, the board switched again. Luckily, again, it happened way later in the race, so we already know what the runners are generally doing. There isn't much mystery to it. The only confusion being if the runners, sorry, not the runners, if anyone viewing is, like, just viewing now, they'd be very confused. They're, like, 42 minutes in the race and no one's marked as square. Except it's not the same board, but obviously the people viewing wouldn't know that. Okay, so Sean is, done with Wooded. He just has to purchase a sticker and he is out of here. He's got his 50 regionals. Pseudonym actually almost done with Wooded as well. He's got his 20 moons, and I believe he's already purchased the sticker. He's gonna make it to the Odyssey first. Sean globing, like, a second before Pseudonym. If they are doing the same exact route, oh man, we got a race, boys. Sean does need to get all regionals and WAS. That is very true, Neo. We could potentially still see some spaghetti from Pseudonym, but Pseudonym definitely does have the advantage being done with APC. So Pseudonym does have the lead, even though it looks like they have similar progress. Pseudonym has already completed his APC in 2 kingdoms. Oh my god. You're right, it is a 3-way tie. Thanks for reminding us, Neo. Oh no. Oh no. Anyways, Sean and Pseudonym both in the cloud fight, teaching Bowser who's boss. If you guys are hearing Discord pings in the background, it's because I signed up to commentate for the 3 PM race as well. But there was no commentating for this signed up, and I was free after my race, so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll commentate too. Anyways, They're just both fighting Bowser. It's all good. Ooh. Oh, that is not good for Sean. Oh, that is... Okay, I mean, he saved it, but that's not good for Sean, especially since he's already behind. This is Pseudonym's game to take. This is definitely Pseudonym's game to win. He is definitely on sub 50 pace, so... Very impressive showing from Pseudonym. 100%. Sean actually also on sub 50 pace. It's just going to be a little bit harder because he has to work in regionals with his 16 moons loss. So, with this in mind, both runners are going to be in a bit of a scramble frenzy. We could potentially still see Sean come back here. But with Sean having an extra thing to do in loss compared to Pseudonym, I honestly do believe this is game. It is Pseudonym's game to win. You want to see a three-way tiebreak race? While that'd be exciting, I'm sure the runners of this group are not pleased about that. Who's in the three-way tie, by the way, Neo? Is it Pseudonym, Sean, and DeReal Memes? Because I know DeReal Memes is in this group. Who's the fourth person in this group? I don't remember. Oh, GamePro. Oh yeah, GamePro. Okay. So, DeReal Memes beat all three of them? Oh, Sean's already out. Oh my god, dude, this group was packed. Dude, all four of them are, like, equal in bingo as far as I'm considered. That's crazy. Who the heck made these groups? Yeah, this group is easily the most, like, intense. What the heck, Neo? What did you do? God damn it. Anyways, what does that mean? Excuse me? Nah, you're good, dude. I get it, there's 16 groups. It's almost certain that one group is gonna have a really tough time. How am I supposed to predict that Mr. 113 beats Mr. 101? Neo, this is why you don't seed a bingo tournament around any percent. I understand that that's, like, the only real indicator, because some people haven't even played bingo before this tournament, but, like, good god. It's not the same. I understand, though. I completely understand. It's not your fault. I know you had nothing else. But again, it's not really your fault. It's just the unfortunate circumstance. Oh no! Sean kleptoing. Oh. Yeah, that's a yikes. Okay, well, any chance that Sean had is completely gone now. Pseudonym would have to die like 4 times. Oh my goodness. Oh, you hate to see it. He is working in moons into this, which is kind of funny. Alright, well, that's basically that. Aw. I feel bad, dude. That really sucks. Wait, what's going on? Pseudonym, please don't die. Oh my god. Yo, he earned that moon. What the heck? He, like, wall jumped, like, 6 times. Oh my goodness, dude. Pseudonym earned that moon. What the heck? Wait, is he done? Was that 16? No, that's not 16. He's gotta get Forgotten Isle, then he's done. Okay! Wow. What the heck? Oh my goodness. Alright, well, Pseudonym is finished. It looks like he finished with like a 49-48. Obviously, he doesn't have a timer, but I'm just basing that off of Sean's timer. GG to Pseudonym. Very well played. Showing that even though APC lost is faster in practice, sometimes going with what you're more confident with is more worth it. $49.44 on race time. Very cool. Do you want to come in for an interview? Do you have a link? Neo, how do I send a link? Do I have control over that? You don't know? Are there any restreamers for SpeedGaming watching the actual match that can send Pseudonym and Sean links? Should I, like, ping an admin on the Discord to, like, send a link? Yo! Hand reveal. Insane. Dude, he cut the stream perfectly. Hand reveal. I have to at Kirito. Alright. Or is it Kirito? I didn't even know. Okay. Alright, I'll at Kirito, I guess. Alright, we are working on getting the runners links to do post-game interviews. Still a bingo PB, Sean. You played very well. GG, gamers. Let's hopefully pull you in for post-game interviews, because I don't want to leave Eden waiting too long for co-commentating the match at 3.